"Come and knock on our door," he hummed, his hand brushing her cheek. "We've been waiting for you," she finished, her voice a whisper. They stood there for a long time, the chef and the florist, in a world of polyester and secrets. The masquerade would continue tomorrow. Mr. Furley would wear something neon, Larry would try to sell a lemon. But for tonight, in the quiet glow of 201, the company was exactly what it was always meant to be. Chapter 21. Post-midnight glimmer. The morning light filtering through the sheer curtains of apartment 201 seemed softer than usual. Jack was in the kitchen, humming a tune that sounded suspiciously like a wedding march, though he'd swear it was just a jingle for a brand of margarine. Janet entered, her hair slightly tousled, looking at Jack with an expression that sat somewhere between a smile and a question. The no gala companion needed note was still tucked into the pocket of her bathrobe, a warm weight against her side. "Coffee's ready," Jack said, his voice dropping an octave as their eyes met. "And I didn't burn the toast. I consider it a breakthrough in our relationship." "I consider it a miracle, Jack," Janet replied, taking a mug. The jokes were still there. The banter was their shield, but the armor was starting to show some very real cracks. Their moment was shattered by Larry Dallas sliding through the balcony door like a well-dressed eel. "Jack, my boy, tell me you didn't blow it with Sonia," Larry shouted, ignoring the intimate atmosphere. "I've got the perfect plan. I heard Monsieur Henri is looking for a chef for his new floating restaurant." "It's a yacht, Jack. Imagine the vibrations on a yacht." "Larry, I'm not going on a yacht," Jack groaned. "I'm busy. We're busy." "Busy? With what? Omelets?" Larry's eyes darted between Jack and Janet. A slow, knowing grin spread across his face. "Oh, I see." The roommate vibe just took a turn into the soulmate lane. "Well, move over, Cupid, because Larry's got a better idea." "Larry, please," Janet sighed. "Whatever your idea is, the answer is no. Even if it involves a surprise visitor who's currently parked in front of the building?" Larry pointed toward the street. Janet's heart stopped. She rushed to the balcony. Below, a familiar, charcoal-gray sedan was idling. A man with shoulders like a linebacker and a jawline like a granite cliff was stepping out. He was wearing a hat that looked like it belonged on a man who enjoyed hunting things that could hunt him back. "Daddy?" Janet whispered, her voice trembling. Chapter 22. The Sudden Sentinel. Colonel Roland Wood did not just walk into a building, he occupied it. He was a man of tradition, discipline, and a very short temper regarding modern nonsense. To him, Santa Monica was a den of iniquity, and his only daughter, Janet, was a delicate flower he had reluctantly allowed to bloom in a pot he didn't quite trust. "Hide!" Janet hissed, spinning around and grabbing Jack by the shoulders. "Hide where?" "In the oven," Jack squeaked. "Janet, your father loves me. Or at least he tolerated me when I was pretending to be well, not a man living in your apartment. He thinks I live here with Chrissy. Just Chrissy." Janet panicked. "If he sees you here at 8 in the morning, in your apron, making toast, he'll have us both court-martialed." "I'm a civilian, Janet." "He won't care. He still has his service revolver." Chrissy stumbled out of her room, rubbing her eyes. "Why is everyone shouting? Did the hula lamp break?" "Chrissy, Dad's here." Janet grabbed her. "Go to the door. Distract him. Tell him I'm in the shower. Jack, get into the closet." "The closet?" "Janet, that's where we keep the vacuum cleaner and Furley's old velvet paintings. Just go." As Jack dove into the hall closet, the doorbell rang. Colonel Wood didn't wait for an answer. He used his parental master key, a firm, authoritative knock that made the hinges groan. "Janet? Snow? Open up. It's the Colonel." Chrissy opened the door, flashing a bright, nervous smile. "We're all out of garages, but we have a very lovely hula girl." "Stand aside. Snow," the Colonel barked, stepping into the living room. He scanned the area like he was looking for snipers. "Where's my daughter? Why is there a smell of burnt bread and lavender?" "Oh, that's just the new air freshener," Chrissy chirped. "It's called Navy Breakfast. Very popular." Chapter 23. The Man in the Closet. Inside the closet, Jack was pinned between a mopey vacuum cleaner and a stack of Furley's salmon-colored suits. He could hear the colonel's heavy footsteps pacing the living room. Every thump felt like a gavel coming down on his life. "Janet!" the colonel shouted. "I know you're in there. I can hear the pipes clanging." Janet emerged from the bathroom, wrapped in a robe, her hair wet. "Dad, what are you doing here? You didn't call." "A surprise inspection is the only way to gauge the true state of the troops, Janet," the colonel said, giving her a stiff hug. "I was in the area for a security briefing. Thought I'd check on your perimeter. You look flustered. Is the snow girl still eating all the rations?" "No, Dad. Everything's fine," Janet said, her eyes darting toward the closet. "We were just about to go out." "Out? At this hour? Nonsense. I'm hungry. I want a real breakfast. Not this California fruit and nut garbage. I want eggs, over easy, and bacon that hasn't been health conscious." Janet froze. "Dad, the stove is broken. Ralph is coming to fix it. He's the manager. He's very colorful." Just as she said it, the closet door creaked. Jack, trying to adjust his position, had accidentally leaned against the handle. "What was that?" The colonel's hand went to his hip, a reflex from 30 years of duty. "The wind!" Chrissy shouted. "It's very windy in closets. It's the air circulation." "In a closet?" The colonel narrowed his eyes. He walked toward the hall. "I've seen better cover-ups in a jungle skirmish, Janet." "What are you hiding?" He reached for the closet handle. Janet lunged forward, blocking him. "Dad, don't. It's where I keep my secret hobby." "Secret hobby? You're not into that radical political stuff, are you?" "No. It's I'm learning to play the bagpipes." Inside the closet, Jack's eyes went wide. "Bagpipes? Where was he supposed to get bagpipes?" "Bagpipes," the colonel grunted. "A noble instrument. Loud, disciplined. Let's hear a note." Jack realized he was doomed. He looked around. His eyes fell on the vacuum cleaner. It had a long, ribbed hose and a dusty bag. He took a deep breath, grabbed the hose, and blew into it while rhythmically squeezing the bag. A sound emerged that could only be described as a dying duck trapped in a wind tunnel. The colonel stopped. A look of profound respect crossed his face. "Terrible. Absolutely wretched. Just like your grandfather used to play. Keep at it, Janet. It builds character." Chapter 24. The Leap of Faith. The colonel eventually settled on the sofa, satisfied that his daughter was a budding musician rather than a cohabitant with a man. However, the tension in the apartment was reaching its boiling point. Jack was still in the closet, and Ralph Furley was about to make his morning rounds. "I need to use the head," the colonel announced, standing up. "No!" Janet and Chrissy shouted in unison. "Why not?" Because it's occupied," Janet said. "Snow is standing right here. Who's in the head?" At that moment, Ralph Furley pushed open the balcony door. He was wearing a tracksuit that was 3 shades of yellow too bright for human eyes. "Tripper, I forgot to tell you about the vibration check for the colonel's visit. Is he here? Is the big brass in the building?" The colonel froze. He looked at Furley, then at the balcony, then back at Janet. "Tripper? Who is Tripper?" The silence was deafening. Janet looked at the closet. She looked at Jack, who had peeked his head out, still holding the vacuum hose. She looked at her father, a man who valued truth above all else. "Dad," Janet said, her voice finally finding its strength. She walked over to the closet and pulled Jack out. "This is Jack Tripper. He's our roommate. He's been living here with us for 3 years." Jack stood there, apron on, vacuum hose in hand. The colonel stared at Jack. He stared at the apron. He stared at Furley, who was currently trying to hide behind a potted palm. 3 years? The colonel's voice was low. "Under my nose? In my daughter's apartment?" "He's a chef, Dad," Janet said, stepping between them. "And he's the best friend I've ever had. And he's more than that. He's part of this family." The colonel looked at his daughter. He saw the fire in her eyes, the same fire he'd seen when she was a little girl defending a stray kitten. He looked at Jack, who was standing tall, no longer hiding. A chef, you say? The colonel finally grunted. Do you know how to make SOS? The real army stuff? With my eyes closed, sir, Jack said.